Okay, welcome back. We still have Steve Adaramoye, legal practitioner, with us. And we've heard Governor Fayemi resuming his vision that had to be truncated, if you want, at the altar of democracy. But here you are, the same democracy has brought him back into office for him to continue. He was emphasizing out there, you know, when that part that we took with Ayo, that, look, he doesn't expect this to be a stroll in the park. So there's going to be some work, in fact, much work. I'm sure he would correct me if he could hear me or if he was able to comment on this. It's not some, much work.
Even picking from where I left,
yes,
a situation in which salaries have not been paid for upwards of 5 months. People have been living from hands to mouth. You understand? A situation in which the money that was allocated for the payment of those salaries was diverted.
But let's go back to Fayemi, who's called back in. Okay, Fayemi, thank you for calling back in. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, the second aspect, when you look at the civil service, you find out that those people who are really in government and who are working, you find that they are less than 30%. They are less than 30% of those working. I had a case where I was with an area engineer for government who, for 15 good years, one single file never got a table. No talk of anything. Why? I'm not advocating that they should be sacked. But you redirect this thing. It's not good for them. The person you are paying that is not working, and it's not good for the economy of the state. Why don't you redirect those people? Not sacking them, redirect them into so different places. Assist them to set up and be doing something useful. Instead of just paying money and nothing is coming back. It's not good for our economy.
All right.
So those are the things, that's the way I look at it. And all of them, they should at least set a timeline that maybe in 10 years' time, this is where we want to get to. That by 10 years' time, we should not be able to be relying on Abuja before we can run our state.
Sure.
That's the way I look at it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Fayemi, for calling in. Now, Governor Fayemi has just this term. He doesn't have the option of a second term because this is his second term. And so
based on the Constitution.
Based on the Constitution. And so one can imagine that from his point of view, he must see it as we have no time to waste at all. You know, usually when one hears of the strategy of when a governor comes in, crossing his fingers and hoping that he'll have a second term, he begins to work to spread the whole idea over 8 years. But any accident could happen along the way. Now, Fayemi doesn't have the option of a second term. So you probably imagine the pace is going to be quite nifty. It has to be quite nifty for Fayemi to recover as much as possible within the next 4 years and then possibly hand over to a like-minded successor.
Actually, I appreciate the fact. That is enough time.
4 years?
More than enough.
To make an impact?
Yes. One of the tragedy of our system, especially Nigeria and especially in Africa, thinking about eternity to make change. You look at major political players in history, it is not the time that actually counts, but what you put into the time. You understand?
When you say what you put into this time,
yes.
We know that oftentimes we know what to do in this locale, yes. But people tell us about what was that word now? The political will,
yes.
to do that which is necessary.
Exactly.
Now, Fayemi, I don't think he doesn't have the luxury of political will. What needs to be done probably needs to be done. Yes, you must.
The political will will still have to come in.
It will have
that determination, that courage to pursue the vision which you have. In fact, one of the evil bedeviling our political system is the very fact that people normally think they will spend another thing. If you concentrate your mind within a 4-year period, 4 years is even too much a time to make a difference, undoubtedly. Like I said, he has seen enormous task on his hand. He has seen that a lot of destructions have been made. All what he needs is to rebuild. And then have team of like-minded, people that are there, that are ready to work. Like Nehemiah. When Nehemiah, I think within a space of about 52 days, if I may be correct, You understand? He rebuilt the wall of Jerusalem. You understand? The passion was there. The vision was there. When you have a vision, you have passion. That is, and sincerity comes in. Ordinarily, I mean, we didn't, I remember, if I may even tell you something about Governor Fashola. I remember within 6 months he started. People started seeing the effect in Lagos, all over Lagos. You understand? I remember I was living in Magodo here then, driving through that very Ministry of Lands, where he started. You understand? So once you know your target, what you want to do, it's just to make sure you follow it strictly.
Okay.
And I don't think...
Okay. Dele has called in. Dele in Akure, good morning.
Good morning.
Please go ahead.
Yes, my little contribution is that you guys here, please think about the case that is still in the courts. The Lord is the ultimate judge, please. So, do not rejoice now. That is my little contribution.
And we thank you very much for it. We really appreciate your calling in, Dele. So, as you were saying,
yes.
The big challenge now is how to, if there's any such thing, reflate the economy of Ekiti. Monies that the handouts that were given, we see were diverted, were not used for the purpose for which it was granted. Kayode Fayemi reminded us there that the president had asked at a certain time, we went there, but he was there. How do people sleep at night who don't pay salaries?
It's most unfortunate.
How do people do that?
And at the same time, we just have to appreciate one fact. Some of this money must be recovered and be reinvested in the economy. One of the problems we have in this country is we are in a situation in which you allow people to go with their loot. You understand? If you could get back the money people have stolen, then and put them back into the economy. And I think people will learn their lesson one way or the other.
Okay.
Governance, essentially, is not a place of luxury. It's a place, essentially, of service. You understand? People that are supposed, but unfortunately, government have been reduced to jeon, padi, kind of governance, government in the words of Fela Anikulapo.
And drama plays.
And drama plays, you understand? But governance is made of a standard stuff.
Indeed.
In such a situation that you have to roll up the sleeves of your shirt and work hard.
One is hoping that that
yes.
is exactly what Fayemi is bringing to the table this time around, especially after that. When they called it restoration, they probably had their notion about these things we're talking about. Mazi Okoroafo, good morning.
Good morning, Sayori. Good morning, our guests in the studio.
Good morning.
Sayori, the governor should use the next 100 days in office and put his cabinet in action with his roadmap agenda. You see, one, we have to look at the education. Because, like I told us last time, the education, when you look at the federal university, I think I saw them on the screen complaining about their money and the rest. You have to look into education of that, find out what is the problem there and bring a large solution. And worker salary saga should be revisited. Now, the dividends of democracy is what we want now in Ekiti State. Because anybody that goes to vote, he or she has something in mind that the government will do what? Let them also benefit from the dividends of democracy. Because this is the cardinal point of any government. I pray and I wish him, on behalf of Ukraine, we wish him a successful stay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mazi Okoroafo. On behalf of the Okoroafos, you wish him all the best, indeed. Because the governor was emphasizing, well, not so much he was emphasizing, but he said at the tail end very tellingly that it's going to be rough. Now, Mazi was helping us, I think, understand there that
the issue of 100 days.
You have to balance that fact, that truth of it's going to be rough, and therefore there might not be so-called dividends of democracy immediately apparent, but you've got to keep your eye on that because people went to vote, they wanted to vote for a change. So people who things were quote-unquote dry for expect a little bit of slack. So that probably is Fayemi's challenge right now. He said that it's going to be rough, but he knows also, from a political point of view, it can't just be rough. People will want to know what is in this for me. I voted. So do you think that is a paradox that is important?
Actually, if I may just say, when you are saying you are talking about change, you have immediate change, short-time change, and long-time change. If you are working with sincerity of purpose, and the people, I appreciate our people a lot, you understand? People with high culture of values, culture of excellence, if they see seriousness in you and that you are not deceiving them, they will appreciate you. And even they'll be able to put up with with whatever you are doing. But in a situation in which they discover that this person is just deceiving them, it might be very difficult to carry them along. Because one of the things that I appreciate in leadership is you must be able to carry the followership along. And when you are carrying the leadership along, that you'll be able to translate your vision into reality. So it is actually, they witness it, like there are certain immediate problems that must be solved. Like the salary that I mentioned to you.
That is
you understand?
That one must be
those
addressed.
salaries, 5 months salary now.
It must be addressed.
I remember at the time Fayemi was leaving, I think he owed a month's salary. But now, before it was even more than 5 months. You understand? People have been living from hands to mouth.
Indeed. Let me. Sorry for interrupting. Let me take Yakub. Good morning, Yakub.
Yeah, very good morning once again.
Good morning, sir.
And then good morning to your guest.
Once again, where have you been before?
Yeah, I have called to one of the...
okay. All right.
You see, for me, with due respect to one of the caller calling from Akure, even though he has the right to his own personal opinion, likewise me as well, he says that they should not redress yet. I dare to disagree with him. As of today, this morning that we are discussing this issue, Fayemi stands as a governor of Ekiti State. Our head until tribunal say otherwise. But I'm saying that they have every responsibility to redress because a lot of them have been lost in that state. Look at what your guest is telling us in the studio. See, Fayemi should move in. In fact, I listened to him in your studio now when you just played the clip. On the paper this morning, I read something that they say Fayemi says I will probe the former governor.
Yeah.
And then when I listened to the person on the ground, which is the governor, this morning on the studio, says that I don't have time to probe anybody. But the EFCC, ICCC are there to do their job. But the Ekiti people need to know what transfer for the 4 years. That is the number one. Number two, the originate head of stomach infrastructure should be changed in that state. Instead of stomach infrastructure, the adage says that don't give me fish. You should teach me how to catch fish by myself. Fayemi should change that mind of stomach infrastructure. It should put a normal infrastructure, principal infrastructure in that state so that the people will know that the dividend of democracy is coming to them, and that education is the priority of that state, and the agriculture, as you said earlier. Thank you, and God bless you.
Indeed.
Sorry.
Indeed. Thank you very much for calling in. Appreciate your call. Well, certainly, Kyle, we were speaking about the time available to Fayemi's administration. They have 4 years. With the amount of work that has to be done, it's going to whiz by pretty quickly. And so he swung into action. His cabinet, will be known very, very shortly. I say that because he's already announced the secretary to the government, the chief of staff, and the chief press secretary to sort of keep us going. The secretary to the government is Mr. Abiodun Yebanji. Chief of staff is Biodun Omoleye and Yinka Oyebode, chief press secretary. I imagine that in very short order, we want to be knowing his cabinet as well. I'm sure he has a pretty good idea. Even these people were with him before, and in some cases, they went together to Abuja. And in some cases, they went together to Abuja. And here they are. It's like there's a sort of a dedicated team that their vision was truncated, and now it seems like, okay, guys, we're taking another shot at it. And this time, we don't have the luxury of being able to jog. We're going to have to move at a brisk sprint. Miriam in Apapa, good morning.
Good morning, Uncle Yori. Good morning to your guest.
Good morning, ma'am.
So I want to come from this angle of a lot of people believe that Fayemi is not a grassroots politician. But what I see is he's a man of class. Class does not necessarily mean you are not connecting with your people. Class only means it's different from the previous. We all know what I'm talking about. But what I'm going to say is this. Fayemi does not need to pay anybody back. He does not need to go back memory lane trying to fight unnecessary battle. The institutions that have been put together to do those will do it. My advice to Governor Fayemi is 4 years for me is not enough, but something can be done. So he should concentrate on getting the loyalty of his people by carrying on projects that at least feed people. People should be able to eat, to be able to understand what governance is all about. Mm-hmm. Grassroots governance should be about humanity. Mm-hmm. It's not about sitting by the roadside and eating pomo and, making a lot of noise. So he should grab this opportunity, get to his people by making sure that there's food on the table, and think about how to bring economic development by looking at ways to generate incomes for the state instead of just sitting down and waiting for federal allocation. That is not going to continue to work for us. So everybody should bear that in mind. So you should take a few things, concentrate and achieve them. You may not do everything at this point. You shouldn't look into gigantic infrastructures that take years and years, but let him start something visible and let him think about humanity first. Every other thing will fall into place. Congratulations once again to the people of Ekiti State.
Thank you very much, Miriam, for calling in, congratulating the people of Ekiti State. Well, they've come out of one particular administration into another. And as Miriam was emphasizing, these are diametrically opposed personalities. They see things totally differently. I said, look, it's not a small matter. King's College London, is that on the University of Cambridge or where? So we went all that level. But the people of Ekiti also tried the other one. They themselves said, come, the Ekpomo and everything, it connects with us. Okay, now they've said, okay, we've had another chance, is enough. Go and call that man back, that our King's College man. Call him back. At least he'll do work. I imagine, not that anybody told me this, but I'm just trying to put some flesh to the idea. The matter about Governor Fayemi said that the people have a right to know what happened to their commonwealth. But I don't think, that's why we played the clip. Contrary to one paper this morning, saying that he was threatening to probe, you could see in that clip that he was saying that, look, he's not a fan of probes. Yes, the people must know what happened, but there are specialist agencies that will do that. I imagine he's saying from there that I don't want to get distracted. I'm going to leave people to do their job. And as he put it, unless anybody asks me a specific question, he gave the impression that he's going to leave all of that to the appropriate agencies to handle the matter. He, like everybody else, wants to know what happens. But he also has important work to do. And you've been saying, you've been using Nehemiah's building of the wall as an example, as an allegory for what needs to be done here. So the team, he won't have a problem selecting a team. I think it was Miriam who was saying that he doesn't need to be staring at the ceiling and wondering, how am I going to go? He probably knows how he's going to go. He was on the road before democracy stepped in and said, could you just step aside for a while? Well, 4 years have whizzed by. He's now back there to continue. We just hope that the successive administration didn't take what was done too far back so that we're not starting at -0. Hopefully, if we can continue from 0, he'll be happy. Now, James has called in from, Australia? Morning, James.
Yes, good morning.
Austria.
Good morning,
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please.
And your guest, good morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Yeah, what I want to say is people are just talking as if this man is somebody that we don't know. This man has a one-time governor of Ekiti State, a minister of mining and steel, yet there was nothing that I see that this man has done. Let people stop talking as if this man is a saint. This man has always been there. So I don't know why Nigerians don't like to say the fact.
All right.
I want to say
So,
let's see the next 4 years what this man is going to do, because he has proven that in mine and steel. He did not do anything.
Okay, then. Okay, James, thank you very much for calling in. As far as James in Austria is concerned, Governor Fayemi is overrated. We've recorded your opinion. Thank you. Okay. So, that's it. Different strokes for different folks. And we take all views. But as Mazi Okorafor said, and Miriam said, they're wishing Fayemi the very best in this arduous task that he has to undertake. And most people, will vote on his competence to do it, and the team, I imagine.
Actually, you mentioned something the other time. As of today, is the governor of the state.
So, let me take, since we're on the international route now,
Okay.
let me bring in George in the UK. I don't know, George Ikeja or George UK? No, George UK, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much for calling in. That voice is not the Ikeja one.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you hear me properly?
Please go ahead.
Okay, sounds good. Okay. It's unfortunate that the gentleman that called from Australia called in before me, because I've been trying to reach you. I felt that was just the real truth you just said right now, not so long ago, that we really need to be truthful to ourselves in Nigeria, because Fayemi has done nothing back in the days. And I'm not here to say I want to give my support to the former governor, Fayose, but the real fact is there's been some ex-governor back in Ekiti State. What have they done to Ekiti? Now we have Fayemi coming in, telling us he wants to know what has happened. If we look at the election alone should be able to tell us that he's not going to leave. It's so, we're used to hearing all sort of things like, common things they're saying yesterday. Mm-hmm. We've heard a lot of those. Like, they come to tell us our, actuals are saying yes, they're here. But let's give just the first 1 year. I will be glad to give you a call back on cases like this. And I'll be very happy to call you. And I know God will definitely keep people like you for us to call back again.
All right, then.
Because at the end of the day, come to look at it. If you look at a gentleman, say, Fayemi being educated and everything, and I remember a lady just calling not too long ago telling us something good about, trying to tell us he's a special person. There's nothing bad in you as a governor going out to eat bomo with people, to be honest with you. I live in London. There's nothing bad. You need to be used to your people. I'm not talking about the corruption aspect, but you need to get used to your people. You need to know what that's
okay.
Part of the way. You don't have to make it like, because you're learned or because you're educated or because you're this. No, it doesn't work that way.
I think we take that point, George. Like George, we take that point. Again, we've recorded a second guy who has said Kayode Fayemi is overrated. But that's the way of life, because not everybody voted for him. So people of that disposition,
Rainbow ideas,
yes, would not have voted for him. But then you will be the first, I'm sure, to agree that there are also those who think very highly of the capabilities of Dr. Kayode Fayemi vis-a-vis his task. But it's not at the end of the day about what one or the other thinks. It's about what he and his administration does. And so that's going to be the actual test I'm very happy that we're able to take both shades of opinion. There are those who are euphoric about Kayode Fayemi coming back, and there are those who are saying, Kilo, and they're gone. So we understand that. That's life for you. I think that's a fine place at which to leave it as we welcome Governor Fayemi back to his second term in office. And like Mazi Okorafor said, on behalf of of the Okorafor clan, wishing him all the best. I imagine most men of goodwill will also be wishing Kayode Fayemi and his team all the best. Thank you very, very much, Steve Adaramoye.
Thank you very much
for coming on the program.
Thank you.
Our pleasure. So that's our program. Please join us tomorrow for a fresh edition. I'm Yori Folarin. Bye-bye for now.